You are earning in your prime years of life from the age of 25 years onwards to 35 years. But slowly you feel life is getting stuck to an extent. You feel that the salary you are earning is turning out to be a cage in which you live in. Hi, this is Anirudh Bellare here. Welcome to the 39th video of Your Best Financial Life series. See, today's video is going to be extremely important for men between the age of 25 years to 35 years who feel financially trapped. Now, why have I chosen men over here? Because it is as obvious. Because I am a man here, I am a boy or whatever here who is giving you advice and knowledge in this field. Now see, this video should be taken with your own precaution. It's your wish. You want to choose whatever I say, you want to use it, well and good. See, why am I telling you all of this? The first important thing over here is going to be your responsibilities. Now, financially trapped, what do I mean by that? And what did I mention by saying the word stuck in responsibilities? Now see, you must have thought about this. Responsibilities. Pardon me if my mistake is wrong, but the point over here is when you are in your school or college, typically what happens, you are seated with most of your friends around you, and slowly with time what happens, you enter the corporate world or your business or startup or whatever you do in your life. But what do I mean by this stuck in responsibility? See, with time what happens, usually you would have seen on many social media platforms that once you start earning money, your life becomes set. But the actual reality is, for earning that money, it takes a lot of effort. And I do agree it takes a lot of effort. But the reality is, for you to actually enjoy that money, you have to take out time for it. And that's where you get into the loop of getting stuck into responsibilities. Now, what are the type of responsibilities here? See, taking care of your parents, assuming and giving you the example of the title of this topic, 25 to 35-year-old men. Taking care of your parents, first come your parents. Now say, suppose you're married, so your wife. Suppose your children. And necessities of life. Now see, what happens here is, any normal day becomes a full-fledged routine. From 9 a.m. you go to work, and by the time you're home, you'll be extremely tired and exhausted. And the only thing you will be wanting to do on a Saturday or a Sunday is to relax yourself, to give yourself that so-called me time. Now, what is this me time over here? Me time is nothing but the time for yourself. Now, this time will be given only to you because you feel the whole week you have spent working in that particular organization so that you can earn that money at the end of the month. But understand, this me time and stuck in responsibilities is very common, not necessarily for men, even for women as well. In today's day, whoever is working, this is the core reality. You get stuck in responsibilities. So the actual solution which you can get from being this financially trapped is, see, now whatever your age group is, it is okay. Okay as in, you are well respected in that age group if at all you have made your so-called financial planning. Now see, there are different ways to do financial planning, whereby you make a note of what you want to achieve by the end of how many years. Suppose you say you want to buy that particular type of investment, or say particular type of vehicle in how many years. Now if you have already pre-planned and written this down, your brain will be in that active mode of finding different ways by which you can earn that income. Now, see, I might not be the right person in telling so-called freelancing or so-called whatever is one of the additional ways by which you can earn, but existing money, if you learn to grow it, is a very big skill. As I mentioned in my previous videos, see, making money is important, managing money is even more important, and the biggest class which a person can have is multiplication of money. So 3 M's, always remember: your making money, managing money, and multiplying money. Now you see the difference in M's, not in terms of size, in terms of how important they are. But the most important thing over here is by understanding that if your second M, which is your managing that particular money, if that goes a bit sidelined or not given importance, then there is no point of making that huge amount of multiplication of money, because eventually you'll be staying in that debt trap, which I don't want for you. And see, this is the topic on responsibilities, this particular point. The other points which I'll be giving you will start to become even more important and relatable for your life. So let's move on to the second point. Now see, in this particular age, what happens? You will have less scope of making career mistakes. Now what do I mean by career mistakes? See, do you want to know a truthful reality? I have seen a lot of people who work in their particular organization not because they are interested in that work, but because they need to pay off their home loan or their car loan, for which that corpus of money is very huge. The loan they have taken from the bank is very huge, and to pay off that money, they eventually have to go and work in the organization. As a result, what happens? See, your career becomes very important. The career you choose, especially in today's day when you have artificial intelligence and all of this, you must be reading in newspapers and all. But for you to be up with those skills is where the importance of investing in yourself becomes important. And why this point becomes even more crucial is that in this particular age of 25 to 35, when your dependency is going to be on many people, as I mentioned here, whether it's your parents, wife, children, necessities, or anyone, for you to take out time for yourself and to nourish yourself becomes very difficult. And that's where mistakes start to become very, what do I tell you, if you don't make those mistakes, it becomes very important. Now what type of mistakes? Like one, I told you, career mistakes. And also, how will you know whether anything is that particular type of career meant for you or not? The reality is, you have the answer. I'll tell you, how many of you people you have actually meditated, if not about meditation, about prayers or just peace? Personally, if you ask me, there's something called gut feeling, or you can say that inner voice, whereby if you have a diversion of 2 or 3 roads and you don't know which road to take, that inner voice will guide you, whether it's road 1, road 2, or road 3. Similarly here, when you have 3 roads, one is the right career, one is your passion, and one is where you have a lot of money. It solely depends on how you choose and what you choose. Suppose you choose the direction of lot of money, it comes with its own particular disadvantages and own advantages. So everything must be taken into consideration. And in the process, you know what happens? The person who goes through a lot, usually what happens, there is no one to ask him, how are you feeling? You know how powerful this word is? This word over here, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? I used to get the same feeling when one of my friend used to come and ask me, how do you feel, Anirudh, right now? You go to office, you come back home, and I used to tell him only one thing, brother, I feel tired. Now, the brother word over here is just a slang, but the word tired here becomes important. Now, why am I telling you all this story when eventually I related this to your finances? Because, see, every decision you take in your life has some or the other repercussion, which is some or the other problem. And for you to actually make sure that you don't make such mistakes when it comes to very important financial decisions is the whole thought and planning here, by which I'm giving you this video here. And see, from outside, when you see societal ways, when you have a lot of relatives, family, friends, they will obviously ask you one single question: how much do you earn and what do you do? Two most important questions. For knowing your status level, the question is asked, but the reality is very rarely people come and ask you, how do you feel? Are you taking care of yourself? Because in this materialistic world, where money is one of the most important things, considerable, most important things, you tend to forget yourself in the process. And for you to actually take out time and to actually love yourself when it comes to your finances and your planning you make, because every small decision will have a big impact. Now, I'll give you an example. A friend of mine, he's earning a salary of 40,000 rupees. He's earning a salary of 40,000 rupees. He has no exposure to the outside world. He has not left his city. He's grown up in the same city from the past 22 years. And right now, when he's earning this 40,000 rupees, he just spends all of this money to get something he likes, which is absolutely fair. You should equally spend your money on whatever you like. But understand one thing. If you don't plan from the age of 22 or whatever your age is, say he's 22 years right now, and it could be applicable for you as well. If you don't start planning on how you want to see your future vision when it comes to money, then that is where the problem starts. Because if you have many different plans of what you want to do in a particular age, without having this money, it will be a lot of problem. See, this video is not for those people who are extremely rich and who don't have any thoughts about money. But I feel this video will reach all of you guys who are in the category of middle class and somewhat upper middle class, whereby you make sure that money importance and decision making is very important and crucial, and at the same time your values when you behave to people as well. So when you give a lot of love is when you get a lot of love. Now the process over here is not about love and all. Process over here is finances, and it's a request from my side. If at all you meet any person who is going through a lot of hardships, is taking a lot of tensions, you just go and ask that person, how do you feel? Do you feel good? Can I help you in some way? See, these small words is what will motivate a person to do well. Now see, you may think I may be talking all nonsense, but the reality is psychology plays a very important role. Once the mindset of the person is fixed, the 3 M's over here, as I wrote in the previous point before erasing it, the making money, managing and multiplying one, that will happen on its own. Knowledge can be gained, but for you to actually live your best moment in the particular life you have becomes difficult, because as humans you get through the same routine. That is why I say always be happy with what you have and always take care of different people, because in today's world it is very easy for people to be very transactional. But for someone to go out of the way and help a person, when he or she needs the most becomes very important. And that is why this video, I'm giving it to you in the form of value. Now, there are more ways by which people get trapped. As I said, loan can be a factor, emotions can be a factor in terms of after marriage or whatever, with friends and all. Now, another thing over here is, see, despite your marriage or whatever be the scenario, at least if you have that one person who you know, in spite of you not being in this world, he will come and be beside your grave. I'm very sorry I'm talking all of this, but the fact is that this becomes important, because if you get that feeling from a person, he or she will help you when you need it the most. And when it comes to money, you have to be cautious. But when there is a lot of love, everything falls in place. Now, see, whether it comes to money, fame, or love, usually a lot of people will choose either the first one, money, or the fame. But when you give a lot of love, you automatically get your fame and money. Now, how it happens, I may not be the right person to tell you this. But in the form of karma, if you give good things, you get back good things in some or the other way. Thank you so much for listening to this particular part of finances, feeling trapped. Feeling trapped as in people in the age of 25 to 35, or rather say men. You feel trapped because there is no one to vent out all your thoughts and emotions. That is why I'm here, signing off once again. Thank you so much.